How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your ginger, Geordie, Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another episode of This Is My. If you've not seen this show before, this is where we meet a member of the comic book or toy collecting community and we'll learn a little bit more about them. We'll pick their brains and find out what makes them tick. Now, tonight we've got a guest who you should all recognize, I'm sure, because he is an absolute legend. It's someone that I've followed for a number of years. He's not only a really passionate collector, but he also does some incredible work in comics curing cancer as well. So I'm over the moon tonight to have DJ LINX on the channel. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to a spirited debate. Conversation.
Yeah, well, I'm going to push it tonight. I'm going to ask you some tough questions, I think. But we'll see how we'll get as we go through the show. Just before we start, just to say we've got a few people watching. So we've got good old Cliff on Comics. Nice to see you, Cliff. I hope you are well. Two beloved icons come together tonight on This Is My. I think he must be watching the wrong channel. I don't know which beloved icons he's talking about. But yeah, nice to see you, Cliff. I hope you are. Please go check out Cliff's show on a Saturday where he interviews other comic collectors. It's always good fun. So please do check that out. We've got my pal Terry Deadman, just started his channel off doing comic book cover reviews. He's put another video out today. Terry, you're killing it. I think you're doing a video a day or something. It's superb content, so please check him out. We've got Fuzzy Dunlop, one of my biggest supporters. Nice to see you, Fuzzy. Can't stay tonight, but thank you for checking in, Fuzzy. Always appreciate it. And we have got the main Mole himself, Von Hoot. You know Von Hoot, don't you, mate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Von Hoot. I mean, Von Hoot is what we call in the UK crackers. He's mad as a box of frogs. He's a stunning guy to go out for a drink with because he goes in full costume, absolutely full costume.
Crazy. All the pictures that I've seen of him have all been in full costume. It's amazing. Every
time. When we go to the bars and the pubs and things like that, there he is in full costume with the cape. You know, it's a sight to behold. We've got Andy Roberts. Always nice to see you, Andy. Thank you for joining. And we've got Wayne Deacon, another guy with another brilliant channel. So really do check him out. And we've got Jack. Always nice to see you, Jack. Do appreciate you stopping by. Okay, we're going to start things off with a nice, easy, straightforward question, bud. Dead easy. What's your story? Who are you? Tell us a little bit about DJ LINX.
Well, I'm DJ LINX. I'm a man. I'm a father. I'm a husband. What's my story? I was born in 1980. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in an area called Bed-Stuy. So it's Bedford-Stuyvesant, but it's locally known as Bed-Stuy, do or die. Now, through gentrification and stuff, things have changed. But I was brought up in a really, really rough neighborhood. I found the dead body when I was 12, so let me just add that to the story.
Crikey.
I'm not even joking. We went to go play in an empty lot, and I might have been 11 or 12, and it was like a garbage bag there, and it was like a dead body, and then I ran to go get my dad. But as kids, that's what we did. We played in empty lots. There was glass all over the floor. We made bows and arrows, weapons, things like that. So grew up doing that and had a fantastic childhood. I'm one of 5 siblings, so I have 2 older brothers. I'm the middle child. I have a younger brother, and then my sister's the baby. So once she was born, my parents said, F the rest of these boys. I'm just going to focus on Crystal. That's my sister's name, so shout out to her. In high school, I met my wife when we were both in high school. I was in 11th grade, which is junior. She was a grade below me. And right before my graduation, she got pregnant. Not even my graduation. She was 5 months pregnant at my senior prom, which is crazy. And we stayed together. We got married once we turned 21. I have a daughter. My daughter's about to be 26 in November. She recently got married. She got married in July. Collecting wise, my older brother, he had comic books. He wasn't a big collector, but he had comic books, and he passed down some comic books to me. With my family, I really enjoyed the Incredible Hulk TV show. Like, I knew about the TV show before I even knew what comic books were. I just knew about the show, and that's like, Hulk is my favorite character, and I think my love for Hulk comes from not only the TV show, but that was one of the few times that everyone, including my dad, who always did his own thing, that he would come and sit down and we would all watch The Incredible Hulk on Saturday morning together. So that's why the Hulk means a lot to me. Started collecting like everybody else when I was, like 88, 89. And then when I got to a point, especially when Madeline, that's my wife, when we were going through stuff in high school, and I had to sell my collection because I knew we were about to have a child. Sold off my collection. Later on in life, got back into it again in the 2000s. Sold it off. Then I got into graphic novels, and I kept most of those. And then I got really back into comic books a couple of years before the pandemic. I was going to say the C word, but I'm not. Couple of years before the pandemic, my wife surprised me with some slabs for Christmas. So we were watching the history of comics on the AMC network here, and it was the Image Comics episode, and they were talking about how all these guys left left Marvel and went to Image. So I was just like, oh my God, that X-Men 1, that was my favorite book. Oh my God, that's Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. That was my favorite book when I was a kid. Lo and behold, that Christmas, she surprised me with the X-Men 1 and Spidey 1 9.8 slabs. And that blew my mind that she took the care to research all that stuff and get it for me. So then that got me into slabs, and I was a big slab collector. And then when I got into the YouTube stuff, a couple of months in, because I was doing the YouTube, mostly Hot Toys reviews, things like that, stuff that I already had, showing off my collection. I wanted to get into the new comic book day stuff just to be involved in the conversations, because I was joining streams and stuff. And instead of having that knowledge base of what was going on that week, I would just try to derail like the conversation. Like me and Remy would just tag, like on Bert's stream, we would just tag team the conversation and try to derail Bert's entire stream because we weren't reading new books. So then I got into the new books, and I just fell in love with reading. This is the most in my collecting history that I've sustained reading this much. Like I read every single day. Before bed, I'll try to knock out 2 or 3 books. I'll go in, if I'm caught up with my reading queue, I'll go in and I'll just pick random books and I'll just read it just because I like reading. Like reading is fundamental. That's my story. I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic. And you've touched on a few things that really kind of resonate with me. So first of all, that original Incredible Hulk show with Bill and all the rest of it, just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I've got very similar memories of sitting on a Sunday afternoon watching that and that theme tune and all the rest of it. So yeah, stunning. So your wife is definitely a keeper, mate. She's a one that has really supported you. That's really nice to hear, because I don't think we always get that within the collecting community. My wife is supportive, but to a point where she doesn't really understand what I'm collecting and stuff. But it sounds like you've got yourself sorted there, really.
Yeah, no, my wife, big shout out to her. She's my best friend and everything. She's really supportive of the hobby, so much so that she goes out of her way to learn about things. So if I'm talking about, let's say like do a power bomb, I was talking to her about it, and she came over because I was editing a video as I was talking about it, and I like went through the slides with her and showed her and told her the story. And I don't know, she was behind me, so she might have been rolling her eyes, but she was there, and just she knows I'm super passionate about these subjects, and she appreciates my passion for it. But and not to jump around and things like that, but just another example since we're talking about her, at Heroes Con, right? So she came with us to Heroes Con. We had the Comics Curing Cancer booth. She wasn't just there, like sitting there. Like she was working the booth when I was going. So I would be like, hey, I'm gonna dip for like 2 hours to go film something with Martin Zavala. We need somebody to stay here. So if Rob walked away, if Mark walked away, like she was there, she was working the booth. I do local shows as well, represent the Comics Curing Cancer, and she's there. Like it's me and her. It's not just my thing and my wife just sitting there. So she's involved.
Great to have that support. Absolutely great. We've got a few other people joining. I'm just going to quickly jump to the chat. The DJ, Dr. Von Hood's saying your audio sounds a bit underwater. Yeah, DJ's got a few issues with his connection tonight, but we're going to plow through, and it seems to be getting a bit better as we go on. So hopefully it'll rectify itself. We've got MJ Comics. Nice to see you, James. Hope you're well, bud. James is another great guy who I've had I know you do the same, DJ. I've actually managed to meet up with a lot of these guys that I interact with on YouTube. So I've had a night out with James and had a few drinky poos with them. So it's always nice, I think, to have that. We've got Gem Mint in the chat. Nice to see you, Gem Mint. I hope you are well, bud. Hope you're well. And we've also got Kenneth Bird. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Again, hope you're well. Nice to see you, bud. Jem's been married 47 years.
47 years.
Yeah. And we've got Freaky Low. Nice to see you. DJ is bona fide. Probably absolutely. Now, you mentioned just before there, you mentioned comics curing cancer. And I just do want to mention that and touch on it because it's an incredible thing that you've been very involved with. So tell us a little bit about that and what people can look forward to or do to support the event.
Yeah, so Comics Curing Cancer is coming up in a couple of weeks. It kicks off on Friday, October 4th. It starts out with the Legion of Comics show at 7 a.m. Then there's a couple of shows throughout the day. My show comes on 9 p.m. that Friday, and then that goes into Saturday morning. There's going to be overnight shows, like Comic Journey is going overnight from Friday into Saturday. K-Pop Junkie is going from Saturday into Sunday. Saturday, the main event is going to be the comic book original art auction. So there's going to be original comic pages, sketch covers, a lot of good stuff. And then on Saturday is going to be the comic book auction and slabs, things like that. You can expect that. All the shows that are spread out the entire weekend are all going to be doing some sort of fundraising activity. My show in particular, I'll be selling slabs. I'll be dropping the C3 metal cover variant. I have 10 of those, so I'll be dropping those, as well as some original covers and things like that. So I'll be doing that on Friday. But yeah, make sure you check it out. You're muted. You're muted, sir.
My apologies. I'm saying there's some great stuff for sale, and it's always worth checking out the channel because you get some incredible bargains on there as well. Not only does it raise amazing funds for a worthwhile cause, but you also, like I say, can pick up some great stuff. It's a topic that's close to my heart. I don't know if you know, but I'm a cancer nurse by background. I've been looking after cancer patients for 20 odd years. So it's a very, very worthwhile thing for you guys to be doing.
Thank you for the work that you do. Yeah, I mean, I'm very passionate about it. I lost my mother in 2010 to cancer. And since then, I've always been involved in some form or another of cancer charity. But like lining up with this, it's like perfect: comic books, community, and the charity aspect.
Speaking of community, we've got somebody else joining with today. We've got Comic Journey. Are you live? We absolutely are, mate. This guy's insane. I watched a little bit of his show this morning. I know he does a lot of shows. His show was on for like 6 hours this morning. Six. Yeah. How do you maintain a show for 6 hours? It's incredible, mate. Incredible.
But this guy, he has tremendous energy. You know, I was fortunate enough to meet him in real life. Like I've met Cliff in real life. I've met Jem in real life. Freaky Louie, Nick. And everyone is a superstar that I've met so far in person. Even Comic Journeys. It's hard to believe. Comic Journey is one of the nicest guys in the world. And sorry to blow up.
I'm hoping to get him on at some point. He's hopefully going to get a show in the next month or so. So that should be entertaining, I'm sure. So one of the things we do on here, DJ, is we also show off collectibles or talk about collectibles. So have you got something you want to mention to it? Well, actually, no. I've got something to show that you sent us through, and I want to get a little bit of background in this because it's pretty impressive. Yeah, tell me about this.
So I have a bunch of, so for this thing, like I never get to show off like my posters or my hip hop memorabilia stuff. I never really get to show it off. So I wanted to take that opportunity to share that. And each of these things come with a story. So this here was a centerfold in the Daily News. So it's a local newspaper. So it was a centerfold that was advertising a Michael Jackson concert that was happening. So it says Friday, September 7th. That was the first show when they announced it. Then they added other shows. So in the bottom is a ticket stub. My wife, I didn't go with her, but she went, and I gifted this to her for Christmas. Like she didn't know about it, but she went to the concert. So that's her actual ticket stub. She went to the concert on September 10th, 2011. I mean, 2001. I'm sorry, September 10th, 2001. So the next day was the terror attack. She was actually in the one of the Twin Towers that morning, where she went to drop off the film to get developed in the World Trade Center. So, I mean, this is Michael Jackson is her favorite artist of all time, one of my favorite artists of all time, and this meant a lot for her to go. Like, she still brings it up that I didn't go with her. She was like, he was going through his track stuff, and I was just like, I'm not supporting that guy. Yeah. And like, she went, and it's just like, this is a constant reminder of how life is so precious. You know what I mean? Because the next day, from one day, greatest day of her life, next day, hardest day of her life.
That's a horrendous but beautiful story at the same time. Do you know what I mean? In terms of just how there by the grace of God, I guess, just stunning, absolutely stunning. MJ, Michael Jackson, wow, what a performer. I became a little bit obsessed with him back in the day because I'm a big horror fan, and his Thriller video just blew me away.
I'm not afraid to admit, as a child, because we had a railroad apartment, it was like 1,000 of us in one apartment. So everyone would be in the living room watching like the Thriller video or watching horror movies, and I would be in the kitchen. Like, I was just like, I'll be over here doing whatever I'm doing. I was scared to death of like horror movies and the Thriller video.
Oh, amazing, and hell of a performer. Okay, tough question for you coming up.
Yes.
You're stuck on a desert island. You can only watch one film for the rest of your life and have one meal and drink for the rest of your life. What are you choosing? You can pick anything you want. So film, meal, drink.
So for the film, I want to get a documentary on how to build boats and get off an island. So that's what I'm going to know. It has to be Predator. So Predator won the original 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is my favorite film of all time. I think it's one of the few perfect films. Like, raised in the 80s, it's all about, you know, big muscles, machismo, guns, and all that stuff. And those movies, I really enjoyed that stuff, like Commando, Rambo. I would watch that with my older brothers because I was allowed to watch whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
But Predator, I thought that was cool, these macho dudes. And it introduced me to sci-fi. So I was never big into Star Wars or anything like that. I remember when I was young, I saw Ewoks and I was just like, yo, this is trash. But Predator, oh my God, when it introduced the Predator and just the sci-fi aspect, I fell in love. I'm also a big music guy. And for that movie to have a big sequence, 35 to 40 minutes of silence and just music, to me, I thought that was just like amazing that they were able to carry the story and convey the emotions and the battle between Arnold and the Predator without any dialogue. Like, even me as a kid, like, I recognized that and I was like, yeah, this shit is the bomb. That is my favorite movie of all time. So 100% Predator. As far as food, I'll probably say, I don't have to eat healthy, right? I'm on an island. Pork fried rice and chicken wings. That's like my go-to meal from a particular spot. It has to be from Cum Cow on Myrtle Avenue in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. Pork fried rice and chicken wings with a grape soda, the hood special. The dirtier the Chinese restaurant, the better. But that's my favorite meal of all time. And I used to eat that, like, growing up. Like, I would beg my mother for $3 every day, and I would go and get that. And I would legit eat that every single day.
Just interrupt you a second there. What? I don't know. You broke up slightly. Did you say pork fries?
Pork fried rice. So it's
right, got you right
inside of it. I'm sorry. And
no,
with chicken wings and
nice.
And a grape soda. And then as for the drink, it has to be water. Like, I've never been. Well, sparkling water or flavored water. That's what I'm always drinking sparkling water. I'm not a big drink guy.
You and Jem Mint are practically twins because he was water as well. He's a big water drinker. You mentioned grape soda there. That's not something we really get over here in the UK. It's never taken off, that particular flavor.
Yeah, it's been years since I had a grape soda, sir. And like, grape soda and Chinese food just go together.
Yeah.
It has to be Welch's grape. It can't just be like, you know, brand X grape. Yeah. I used to love Welch's grape and even orange soda, but I gave up soda for, it's been like 10 years. Like, once in a while, I'll take a sip or something if there's anything else. But yeah, I live a boring existence.
Well, apart from finding dead bodies, yeah. I mean, that's.
That was wild.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Show us something else from your collection. What I mean, you've got some sexy stuff behind you there. Tell her a little bit about one of those items.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get to see it if I'm not breaking up too bad. So this thing is a Funko Pop, right? So I'll just bring it closer to the camera. Signed by DMC from Run DMC. So I met him the year when things opened up after the pandemic. So I'm not really a big Funko guy, but I saw him, at New York Comic Con. He didn't have a line. Obviously, I'm a big hip hop fan, so I went up to him. I was like fangirling out, whatever the case is. I'll put it there if you want to meet it.
Yeah.
So I just went up to him and was like, "Hey, blah blah." He was signing these pops. These are super limited, so there's only 180 of these particular ones made. So he signed it. It's funny, he gave it back, and on the K, I just smudged it, and then I just looked at him with like sad eyes, and he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I smudged the K."
That's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So is music a big part of your life? And tell a little bit about your music love.
Music is my first love. I do everything with music. So, like for instance, today I'm working from home, so I have my desk in the living room, and then I'm playing music full blast, mind you, from the moment like I sit at the desk, like it's coming from the TV and the speaker, like all the way up to now. Or if I had a call, like I would pause it. I just love music, hip hop music in particular. I was raised. My dad was a DJ back in the day. My older brothers, like they dabbled in stuff like that. I became a professional DJ, so I established a company, and I would do weddings, parties, in-store events at the mall. Like nothing was above me. Like I would just do any party to get money. But I love music, so it was like collectibles and music hanging from a cliff. I'm gonna say music.
Very cool. Now I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to blow your mind with the level of musical experience I've got. I once saw Vanilla Ice live in concert.
That's amazing.
Doesn't get much bigger than that, does it? Vanilla Ice. Do you know what I mean?
Vanilla. Ice Ice Baby is a bona fide classic.
Exactly.
Everybody can at least recite the first verse.
Yeah. We've got Sean joining us. Nice to see you, Sean. I hope you're well, but I do hope you are well. Okay, next question for you. One of these has got to have never existed. All right. Marvel or DC? Which one are we getting rid of?
I'm wearing a Marvel comic shirt. I'm gonna have to fall on a grenade for this one. So I'm a Marvel Comics guy through and through. I love Marvel Comics. It's the majority of my reading list now is indies. Marvel would come second, and then DC last. Yeah. But however, I would probably say choose Marvel to not exist. I think as a story, because when I put my favorite stories together, and Watchmen is my favorite book of all time. The Killing Joke is one of the greatest stories of all time. Like if you Google greatest story arcs, I think maybe Alex Ross's The Marvels.
Yeah.
That's probably the only one that's on like a top 10 list. The rest of them are all DC. So from storytelling and classic stories, like DC takes the cake. And then like I'm not a Superman guy by any stretch of the imagination, but Superman is probably, if not the greatest character of all time, surpasses comic books, and it's a pop culture. Like kids know who Superman is without, I don't know how. Like if they're like on a remote island, somehow they'll know who the hell Superman is. Yeah. DC just they just permeated the pop culture with better quality things.
It's interesting you're saying that, because I'd just challenge you to look behind you at your shelves, because you're just getting rid of everything on those shelves.
Yeah,
because you've got rid of all the Marvel stuff. But I hear what you're saying. And I'm a more of a Marvel man. But I'm going to ask you a question in a bit, which I'm interested to know about, which is what your recent reads are, because you're talking about indie books there, and it'll be interesting to know a little bit about what your current reader habits are. Show us something else from your collection, bud. What else have you got there to show?
I'll do another hip hop thing. So, like I said, I grew up in in the 80s, 90s, and stuff. Well, my whole life in Brooklyn. What am I talking about? 80s and 90s. So 1998. So it was like summer of 1998. I came out the train. So I lived in the same neighborhood as a rapper that people probably heard of, Jay-Z, right? So we come from the same neighborhood. So
he's done well for himself, hasn't he? He's done well for himself.
Yeah, he did.
You're all right.
We walked out the train station. My wife was pregnant because it was summer 98. We walked out the train station on Flushing and Marcy, walked past the Marcy projects. So then we see Jay-Z there. And this wasn't superstar Jay-Z. It was right before his third album came out. And if you know, his first and second albums, they flopped. So this was not superstar Jay-Z. So we passed him, and he was by himself on the Ave, on Flushing Ave and Marcy. And my wife was just like, "Oh my God, did you see that guy's earrings? Because he had these, they look like doorknobs, these giant earrings in his ears." And I was like, "Oh, that's Jay-Z." She's like, "Oh, you should go back and get an autograph." I was like, "I don't want to bother him." So then we walked back, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Would you mind?" I had my book bag because I was trying to be a rapper at the time, so I had like a little rhyme book, and I was like, "Would you mind signing this?" So then I got his autograph. I don't know if you, hopefully you'll be able to see it. There you go. You're muted, sir.
We can just see the bottom. I can't see the autograph. Oh yes, there, I've got it. Got it.
Yeah. So it says "Peace, Jay-Z 98."
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what was he like to talk to? Was he down to earth? Was he receptive?
Yeah. So he was like surprised that I asked for an autograph. So mind you, this guy was standing on a block, standing on the avenue, diamonds, chain, Bentley, and this is before he was superstar Jay-Z. And he already had all this stuff. So he was just like surprised that I stopped to ask for an autograph because he must have been there all day. And like I went back and I was like, "Yo, I'm a big fan, whatever." Because we literally just passed him and went back. And then I remember like running into him at another time in the city. So I worked close by to there was a record label across the street. There was a record label over here, a record label over there. So when I would park my car in the parking garage, their car was still there. They parked their car in the parking garage as well. So then I remember bumping into him in the parking garage, and that I was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's it, and just kept it moving. But yeah, living in New York, I was fortunate enough to see a bunch of celebrities. Very few that I asked for an autograph. Like he was one of them, and then now DMC at this thing.
Yeah. It's incredible. Just I mean, again, over here where I am, you don't bump into people. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible, the thought of you can just pop to the parking lot and there's Jay-Z. You know, it's phenomenal, really, absolutely amazing.
A couple summer, like we were joking about it. So we went out, and my wife and I, we went out to the city, and we were like, let's just walk around, have a day of walking around. We crossed the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was like 5 TV celebs that we saw in that one day, just walking around. It was like hilarious.
Incredible. Okay, next question for you, mate. We kind of touched on it just before there, but what are you reading at the moment? What's on your pull list? What books have you got kind of to recommend to people?
First and foremost, I'm loving the Geiger stuff. Anything goes. Geiger, Red Coat. Hyde is dropping this month or October, but I love Geiger. The last issue of Geiger that was like almost silent, and it was from Barney's perspective and the animals in the zoo. Absolutely fantastic. Like anything Ghost Machine, I'm there. I like Geiger more than I like Red Coat, but Red Coat is phenomenal as well. Are
you reading Rook as well? Because I'm particularly enjoying Rook. Geiger's my favorite, but Rook's very good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about Rook. Because for some reason, I'm always gonna. If I had the reading order, I'm gonna do Geiger first, Red Coat second, and then Rook. I'm enjoying Rook. I'm enjoying the art more than the story. I want to see where the story goes. I want to see what Ursaw does. He looks fantastic. I want them to explain how he got so big. Like I'm pretty sure in the same way the animals got big. But it's dope as well. I'm loving the art. As far as like art out of those three, I'm going to pick Rook. I think the art department. From Marvel, I'm loving Incredible Hulk. Obviously, issue 17 came out today, and that was fantastic. I love that they took it back to the horror roots. Yeah. I love anything Incredible Hulk that's not Starship Hulk, like Donny Cates. Oh my god. I'm about to cry thinking of Starship Hulk.
It's interesting you're saying that. I do a lot of shows with a guy called Efren Passport Comics, who's from San Diego, a lovely guy. And we both were absolutely invested in the Immortal Hulk, one of my favorite series of all time. And then we've got Starship Hulk, and it was like, what's happened here? What's gone on? You know, it just, yeah. But I am enjoying the horror element of the current series. It's really, really cool.
And it takes it back to the Immortal Hulk, where it was just all about like the horror and the body horror and the transformations and stuff. Like the transformations in this run of Incredible Hulk are gnarly. Like they're insane.
Horrific. Horrific. Yeah. And I would also say, for anyone not reading this current run of Hulk, it's a great story, but it's also given with probably my favorite new version of Ghost Rider. There was a few issues with this very cool Ghost Rider character, which we're going to see in a new series coming out soon. So yeah, I'm loving him.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw a post on IG about I forgot what they were called, Hell something.
So it's him and Wolverine, isn't it? Set during the war, I think.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh snap, that's that good, because that was cool. That little one of Ghost Rider. I'm glad we get to see him again. Marvel, Get Fury, like I'm loving that Get Fury classic, Punisher, violent. Who's doing it? Bendis.
Garth Ennis, isn't it? Is it Garth Ennis?
There we go, Garth Ennis. And I remember when I got into the Punisher Max stuff that it was Garth Ennis with the Russian, and then when they cut his head off, put it on. So that's taking me back to those days. Like I'm really enjoying that stuff. Indies, it's like right now, damn, I'm on the spot.
Did you read one of my favorite stories of recent years? Is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees? Have you read that?
Yeah. I read that. That was phenomenal. I was late to the party on that one. So I tell him when he was doing his comic reviews, he's kind of stopped doing them. He recommended it. He was the first person to even talk about it. And I was just like, it's like anamorphic, like animals and stuff. That's not my thing. And boy, was I wrong. That story was phenomenal. What I did read recently, sir, and you'd appreciate this. Sync.
Oh, Sync. Love it.
Yeah, when you were talking to Jim about it, usually when someone recommends their favorite book of all time, usually I go out and get it, because if they like it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. I thought it was great. So I read Volume 1 the other day, and then I got Volume 2 yesterday. And I thought it was fantastic. I love those anthology stories that connect without being overt. Like they connect and have that.
I'm exactly the same. I'm loving things like Ice Cream Man, and I loved Silver Coin when that was out. With Sync, you'll have to drop us a message and let us know when you get to an issue called Love Bug. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing, really good series, series.
I love the 5 issues.
Do you read much DC stuff? Because I struggle with DC books, I have to say.
Yeah, I love the Elseworld stuff. So Batman, the Kryptonian Age thing, I'm loving that. I'm doing Absolute Power, but I'm not getting of the tie-ins. So from issue to issue, I'm kind of lost on what happens, because they're not doing a great job of explaining it in the other issues. Yeah. In the main story, they'll just be like, oh, hey, Nightwing is back, and keep going that way. And this one, like, you're missing so much if you're not reading the tie-ins. I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm really enjoying DC versus Vampires World War V. Like I enjoyed the first run. Dark Knights of Steel, All Winter, phenomenal. Like I'm digging that. I stopped getting Superman, so I read in this new run Superman 1, and then I stopped at like 16. I was just like, it just wasn't for me. I didn't like the format of the book, where it's like a big old book and then the story in the back. Like I don't like backup stories. I'm sorry. I just want the book. So when it's like this thick and then it's like halfway through, it's just like to be continued. I was like, what? Doesn't make sense. Wonder Woman is really, really good. Wonder Woman is probably the best DC book on the show.
I'm very similar to you in that I prefer DC stuff where it's not connected to continuity. So I like the Elseworlds. I like that kind of stuff. I find I've fallen off with some of the ongoing titles. I'm loving this by Skybound. I don't know if you read any of the kind of their horror verse. So this is the Frankenstein series. They did Dracula and things like that, which are very, very cool.
I read the first 2 issues of Dracula. I just couldn't get it. For some reason, it just didn't connect with me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I've just picked up these, which I'm loving, which is the Invincible. I don't know if you've read Invincible.
I haven't read Invincible. I watched the season 1 of the show. I need to watch season 2, but I was late to the party on that too. So it was like months after it aired that I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Another good Batman story is Gargoyle of Gotham. That there were only 2 issues dropped, and then just went on hiatus. Those 2 issues were phenomenal.
It's a bit of a sore subject on this channel, DJ, because myself and Fuzzy, who were in the chat earlier on, absolutely gushed over issue 1 of Gargoyle of Gotham. That first few scenes where Batman's in the shadows and things, just some of the best Batman stuff I've seen. And then the delays have just killed any enthusiasm I had for the book. I can't, in my little silly head, can't work out how Jeff Jones can knock out like 150 books a week, all of superb quality, and we can't get a cohesive Batman story over 4 issues. It just spoils it for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I went back and I read the new 52 stuff of Batman, because I'm one of those things where people keep talking about stuff. Like I mentioned, you spoke about Sync, and I was just like, all right, let me go read it. So a lot of people talk about the Batman New 52 stuff being their favorite run. So I was like, all right, let me go get volume 1. I read it. I came home, read it, and went back to the comic book store and got like 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, because that's what they had. And then I went to another store to get the rest of them. Yeah. Best Batman stuff that I've ever read easily.
Yeah, there's some incredible storylines in that. Okay, another item, DJ. This is a one that you sent through. This looks impressive as well.
That thing's big. That's in my bedroom, which is hilarious. So, no surprise that I'm a big Jay-Z fan. So this poster was given to the attendees of this concert. So this Reasonable Doubt was Jay-Z's first album, and he put on a 10-year anniversary concert at Radio City Music Hall, in the city on 50th Street by Rockefeller Center. Tickets were like through the roof, at the time, like sold out immediately, and then you couldn't get any on the secondary market, or if you did, they were in the thousands. I was in the barbershop the Friday, the day before the concert. The concert was on Saturday. I was in the barbershop just to get a haircut, and I heard some guy talking about, man, I need to sell these tickets. I don't want to go to this shit. And I was just like, excuse me, sir, what tickets are you selling? And he was like, oh, it's in the seat tomorrow, 2 tickets. I was just like, how much you want for them? 150 each. Sold. We go to the ATM, came back, gave him $300 for the tickets. I didn't even know what seats it were or anything like that. I go in, I meet up with my friend. So my friend and I went. We sit down. We're like in the 10th row from the stage center. It's amazing. So every person that was in attendance at this concert got this poster, got a giant size like magazine thing, got a book bag to put everything in, and they were already on the seats when we got in. It was like super like bougie. So I got the poster, made sure it was in good condition. I was just like, I want to commemorate the occasion, got it framed, and then it hangs in my bedroom. The downside to this whole event, because I was sitting in the 10th row and we were surrounded by like celebrities. The person that sat in front of me, literally in front of me, was Carmelo Anthony, who was on the New York Knicks at the time. So this guy's like 6'10", and I'm 5'6" on a good day, and he's literally sitting in front of me. I was so pissed off. So he was sitting in front of me, his wife, and the Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child was sitting like that. And there were some basketball players behind me. It was funny. But yeah, that's where I got that from. So this is like super rare. I doubt a bunch of these survived the event. I just this one in good shape.
Certainly not in good condition. I bet a lot of them were tattered and knocked about. But that looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. I'm also liking in this image your retro Ghostbuster figures there. They look awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, this whole like section over here, it's like retro figures and stuff. So I got like all the turtles. They're not the original turtles. They're the reprints, not reprints, but
yeah.
And then the retro ones, the Ghostbusters there, and then some Mondo turtles. I got an original Mr. T from like the 80s, My Pet Monster, which was here. That's my guy. That was my best friend growing up, and some G.I. Joes.
Are you enjoying speaking of G.I. Joe, are you enjoying the new Skybound series, the Destro and things? And
I'm picking up Scarlet, Destro, and what was the one that ended?
They did Cobra Commander and they did Duke.
And Duke, yeah. So I enjoyed Duke. I wanted Duke to go on. Like I enjoyed like almost John Wick aspect to it or Die Hard aspect to it. Like I thought that was great. Cobra Commander, it took me a few issues to get into it, and then it died right at 5. Scarlet is probably the best one from issue 1 all the way to now. Destro, I'm reading because it's about to end, and today came out issue 4, so I'm reading it, but I'm like, not that it should have been connected more overtly to the Energon stuff, but if it's like a universe, like drop a hint somewhere.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like, we need Energon.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've been enjoying them, but I'm kind of waiting. I need something to happen now, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, okay, just get on with it now a little bit. Okay.
the best one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Next question for you, bud. I want to know what pisses you off. I want to know what gets on your nerves, what irritates DJ LINX, what grinds your gears, as we would say over here.
What grinds my gears? Oh man, that's an interesting question. I think what kind of bugs me is people that don't apply themselves, or people that are fine coasting. And for me, I was brought up where you have to keep working on your craft, you have to keep improving, and just work on yourself. And then when I got into the workforce and my career, it's about improvement. Like my real job, I work for a communication skills consulting firm, and I told her I was going to be on a live. She's calling. I work for a communication skills consulting firm, and it's all about improving and stuff like that. So when I see people that are just fine coasting when they have the ability to do better, because I'm not talking about people that don't have the ability to do better, or don't have the ability to edit and stuff. When it's things that you can easily improve upon just by investing the time in yourself, not even a financial investment, just the time, and they're fine just coasting, that really bothers me.
Yeah.
And probably too much.
That's a great answer. And again, not to get too soft, but I'm a father. I know you're a father. I find that with my kids as well. It's like just dig a little deeper, push a little harder, But yeah, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one.
Yeah, I found that with my daughter when she was dating her husband now, but it was just like, what is he going to do? Because it's like he was in school, he stopped school, this, that, like what is he gonna do? You just need to improve. And little did I know that he was, behind the scenes building his own business, and got that put in my place.
Okay, but show another item. What else have you got there?
I'll start with this, right? So this is the Freak from Spawn.
Oh, very cool. I've not seen that figure before. That's a new one on us.
So this, I think, is from Spawn series. It's either 5 or 6 from like 90, either 98 or 99, probably 99. So I was in Toys R Us. I was buying stuff for the kid or whatever. And I saw this and I thought this was the best action figure I've ever seen in my life. Like the level of the level of detail, the amount of weapons that he came with. He just looked like a sick guy. Like he comes with a bag of, I have it right there. He comes with a bag of like a sword, a knife, and all this other stuff. And I just thought it was incredible because this wasn't like your normal G.I. Joe or your 3.75-inch figure. And this just blew me away. And I bought it. And I wasn't even collecting figures at the time. Like I still had some stuff that I had from when I was a kid locked up in the closet. But I saw this and it blew me away. So this is the Freak from Spawn. And this is not the original one I had. So I wound up selling off all my Spawn figures. And then a couple of weeks ago, because it's a new addition to the collection, I was just like, what do I need again? And I was like, you know what? I need my Freak again. So the Spawn stuff, the McFarlane stuff, I think he revolutionized the figure game more than once when he started doing the hyper realistic, almost little statues in Spawn, like around series 5, 6, 7. Incredible stuff. And then when he dropped Movie Maniacs, it blew my mind when Movie Maniacs dropped, like to have a Jason figure and a Freddy figure and all those things.
I think the first McFarlane figure I picked up was I think it was a Zeus or an Odin. I can't remember if it was Zeus or Odin, but it was the detail, like you say, was just incredible. It was just beautiful and nothing like anything I've had. You froze there a little bit, mate. I didn't catch what you just said. Sorry.
It was Zeus.
Zeus, yeah.
But they came out with Zeus, Medusa in the same line. Yeah, I had the Zeus one was phenomenal.
Just amazing. Yeah, amazing. Okay, bud. Couple of questions for you now from the great Instagram public. Most of these questions are from good old Cliff. So just some quick rapid questions for you. Do you ever think you will retire from collecting? It's a hard one.
No, unless I have to. Probably not. I mean, if I stop collecting like figures and comics and stuff like that, I'm going to wind up collecting something else. So in my entire life, even though I stopped collecting comics multiple times, so it went from comics, it went to clothes, it went to sneakers. So I stopped with the sneakers, got back into comics. So I feel like I'm always going to collect something. I don't trust the person who doesn't collect anything. Like, you're weird.
Absolutely. What was the most challenging grail to acquire? Because you've got some big boy books and toys, haven't you?
Yeah, man, thank you. So I got a Hulk 1 and an AF-15. I think maybe the AF-15 was the most challenging, obviously from a financial perspective, but being able to get, because I was dead set on getting a 3.0, and those books don't show up often, and I was also dead set on getting it in person. So, it's rare that it comes into my shop in Queens, and like I didn't want to get it online, but I was tracking it for almost a full year. Like I was tracking it and keeping up with the trends and all that stuff, and making sure that I didn't just get drunk one night and be like, I'm gonna get it and press the button. But that's happened a few times. So that was probably the most challenging, but challenging myself not to just go out there and be like, let me just get this, and it's not settling for something that I didn't want.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that is a stunning pair of books you've got behind you there. I think a lot of people's grails. So absolutely beautiful books. You sent another image, and I just want to talk about this one for a little bit. What's this one?
All right. So Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan. Everybody should be familiar with Wu-Tang Clan. Ghostface Killer is one of the MCs in the group, and this is the cover of his second album. So funny story, and all this stuff comes with a funny story. My brother calls me. So my older brother wasn't into hip hop growing up at all. He was like wise beyond his years. I don't know. So, but he wasn't into it. So then he calls me and he was just like, "Hey, you ever heard of a guy called RZA?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan." "You ever heard a guy called Ghostface Killer?" And I was like, "Yeah, Ghostface is one of my favorite rappers." He's like, "Oh, he just moved into my building." So he was the head of the security in this building. And so I was like, "Yo, that's super dope." Whatever. And then the way he met them was head of security, doesn't know hip hop. RZA walks into the lobby and he's just like, "Yo, I'm here to see TripleG." And then my brother's just like, "Okay, who are you?" And RZA's response was, "You don't know who I am?" So we're from Brooklyn. We have tempers. And my brother was just like, starts like flipping on him. And he's like, "Yo, relax. Maybe you know this guy." And then he brings in Slick Rick, old school rapper Slick Rick, who's from the UK. And my brother recognized him because he was into the old school stuff. So then my brother became really good friends with Ghostface Killer. And months later, this album was about to drop, Supreme Clientele. And then I finally asked my brother, I was just like, "Yo, could you ask him to autograph a poster or something?" And he autographed it. To Danny goes One Love, Ghostface Killer. So incredible,
absolutely incredible. And you've got some amazing pieces of history here, really, in signatures. So just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We've got Razor Comics in the chat. Someone tell JJ's internet like, "Yeah, we're no bud, but we're persevering, and we'll get you back on at some point in the future when we've got a better internet connection and we can chat in a bit more detail." MJ's just saying, "Nice signature." Absolutely is. Okay, bud, we're coming to the end now. What other items have you got to show off?
I guess I'll show off this. So hopefully, see it.
I don't think I've seen the silver cover. I don't think I've seen that version.
Yeah, so this is the version that's going to drop on C3 weekend, so it'll probably come on in the mix. So I have 10 of these. So there's 15 were printed. 10 of them will go into public circulation. 5 of them for like me, Rob, Austin LeMay. This is actually the printing proof. So this is the first book that I got from the art book that we released, and it's a metal cover.
Nice.
So yeah, Austin signed it at Heroes Con, and we submitted it there on site at CGC, and it came back a 9.9. So these will drop most likely on In the Mix on October 4th. I have 10 of them, and you know, it's all the money's going to charity. You just donate straight to the portal. Nothing comes to me. Yeah, and I financed all these things, so all the money is just going right back to Comics Caring Cancer.
Absolutely stunned. Please do, if you're watching live now or if you're going to be watching on the replay, please do make sure you check that out, because that's a beaut of a book to get a hold of. It looks stunning, mate. Absolutely stunning. Okay, DJ, tell people where they can find you, where your channel is, and what kind of stuff you've got coming up.
Well, after this, you'll probably find me at the internet place, giving them a piece of my mind. I apologize for I don't know what's going on with my internet. DJ LINX. So I'm on the YouTubes. I drop a video every Monday at 6 p.m. So that's my kind of time slot, every Monday, 6 p.m. I do a lot of members only content. So my hauls that I get from New Comic Book Day, like I'll put that out just for the members. It doesn't go live for the general audience. Fridays, we do our live stream, Fridays, 9 p.m. on the DJ LINX channel, where I'm joined by my guys, Nick's Kicks and Comics, Legion Comics, Remy Q Studios, and Tyler from Whack Comics. And we just have a live stream, shoot the shit. We like to joke around a lot and just have fun. Like, we're really close friends, like, behind the scenes. Like, those are my guys. So it's just natural that we just have fun on the stream. You're muted again, sir.
I keep muting myself so that it doesn't crackle too much. You know what? I love that, because, as I mentioned earlier, I am soft as shit. I really am soft as shit. And when I got into this whole YouTube malarkey, I never expected to make friends. And I've made proper UK friends. And I know we talk about community and all that cack on YouTube, but actually there is proper community if you look in the right places. So it's lovely to know that you have those relationships with people, as you know, I have as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I never thought that I would come on this and get like lifelong friends. For example, last night we had our C3 meeting. So it's me, Rob, Fat Sacks, and Legion have our C3 meeting. Then after that, Rob had to go do something, and it was like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, can you help me troubleshoot my internet? And me, Nick, Tyler, Legion were just backstage on StreamYard for like 2 hours, just talking life stuff, even like life stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, just going to quickly rattle through some stuff that's happening on my channel, but please don't leave if you're watching. We're live, because we're going to do some rapid fire questions to end the show off. But just mentioning a few things that are happening on my channel. Over on TripleG Comics, we have a live show every Tuesday night now at 9 p.m. UK time, 1600 hours EST. And that's a variety of different shows. Got a few new shows coming in, which I'm really looking forward to. In particular, we're going to do a Superman focus show, and we're also going to do a year focus show where we'll pick a year and we'll look at what was released in Geek that year. So looking forward to that. Action figure reviews, lots of 1/6 scale action figure reviews on my channel, comic book content, live shows in terms of interview shows. We do a lot of those. We've got some comic content in terms of visiting places. So I recently went to a comic shop that had a pornography section, which was a little bit of a surprise. It was a bit of an interesting experience walking into that. I do a lot of shows with my pal Efren from Past Point Comics. Please do check him out. I do killer comic shows every Thursday, and my other channel, One Good Scare Show, over on One Good Scare Show with James T, where we look at all the latest horror news. Next week, over on Tuesday, we've got Comic Deal. Again, a guy I recently met live in real life over in Belfast. I had a few drinky poos. Really looking forward to talking to him. And learning a little bit more about him. And he's recently been a published artist. He's now doing cards, Star Wars cards for Topps, which is amazing. So looking forward to chatting with him. Okay, DJ, we have got the last little part of the show, which is some rapid fire questions. So all I want from you is the first thing that comes to your mind. All right. For first honest answers, just a few of them to get through. So best Batman.
Affleck.
heck?
I love
Really?
Affleck, dude.
Sorry, your choice. It's the correct answer is Keaton, but never mind. Pick a superpower.
I'm sorry.
Pick a superpower.
Intelligence.
Okay, very cool. Celebrity crush.
Salma Hayek.
Nice, nice. Michael Jackson or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Stan or Jack?
That's difficult. Stan. I think you need the showman. The artist is just going to do the art, but you need the publicity, the showman, the person that's going to go out there and bring that to the masses, and that's what Stan did.
So that's going to be my next short. DJ hates Jack Kirby. That'll get us some clicks. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Favorite sex toy? And that one from Cliff. Kirk or Picard?
Kirk. I've never seen Star Trek.
You've never seen Star Trek?
No.
Oh my life. Worst X-Man?
Worst X-Men. Oh man. The dude from the movies that was like real big and he walked in and just made himself smaller and sat down. That guy from X-Men. X-Men 1.
Very cool. Okay. Remy Q, Legion of Comics, or Tyler, Shag, Marry, Avoid?
I'm killing Tyler no matter what. Like, Tyler's done. Tyler's got me. I don't even care about the other. Tyler's just dead. Like, I wanted to kill him yesterday. I wanted to kill him the day before. I'll take him tomorrow. So he's dead. That's Tyler. Probably Shag, Legion of Comics, because he's a jerk on the low. So it's just like, well, knock this out and just keep going. And I would marry my guy Remy Q Studio. He's a teddy bear.
Nice, nice. Okay, mate, we'll end the show. Hardest question. Well, it's not hard. It's an easy question, but think carefully about it. Best UK YouTuber.
Oh, that's easy. Off my shelves.
Unbelievable.